Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a quick one, but like a thorough one. A lot of people have asked me how to get your car registered in the state of Washington, and I was going to answer this in a Q&A in the last Q&A I did, but I did answer it and it was such a long answer that I'm like, I should just make a video on it. So I'm making a video on it right now. So I've kind of made the process of getting your car registered and getting your license into 3 steps. That's kind of how I'm going to talk about it. So let me just start off by saying that the DMV is what I would imagine hell would be like. I hate the DMV. It's so depressing and it's slow and unorganized and just a place I never want to go. So when you move to any state, I think, but Washington specifically, you're supposed to get your car plates, your license plates, and your license within a month of being there. That's not a long time to figure that out. Let me just say that it took me over a year to actually do that, probably just because I was prolonging the process. So I'm gonna just explain to you in 3 short steps how to get your license plates and your license. Okay, step number 1. Step number 1 is gonna be to get your license. You need to bring a piece of mail to the DMV in order to get your license. And that's basically to prove your residency in the state of Washington. So here's a tip: bring cash or bring a check to the DMV with you. If you don't have either of those, you can definitely use your card like I did, because I use my card for everything because we're in 2017, but they will charge you a fee of $5 to $10. I don't remember exactly what the fee is, but there will be a fee. So if you can, bring cash or bring a check to avoid the fee. Okay, so step number 2 is gonna be to go get your emissions test. Basically, in order to get your plates, you have to go get an emissions test. An emissions test is just to make sure that all the emissions in your car are working and they're fine and they're covered and there's no bad pollution going off into the environment. If you know anything about Washington, you know that it's a very green state. What this means is you go to any emissions place around the state of Washington, you bring your car there, they check it out, you pay $15, you go get this emissions test figured out, and they either pass you or they fail you. If they pass you, you're golden, you're good, you can go get your license plates. But if they fail you, you basically have to go to a mechanic and you have to say, hey, here's my emissions test, I need you to check it out, and there's a flat fee for that of $150. So basically the mechanic will check it out and they'll be like, this is what's wrong with it, if you want to fix it, let us know, we can figure out a price point, but otherwise bring this sheet to the emissions place to basically say, hey, I tried to fix it, now I need to pass in order to get my plates. So they kind of just want to see that you're trying to do what you can in order to fix your issues with your car. But once you bring that piece of paper and saying, hey, I checked it out, this is what's wrong with it, I'm gonna get it fixed, then they'll pass you, if that makes sense. It's kind of confusing. It's quite the pain in the butt because you're basically paying $150 to pass this emissions test. So that's basically step number 2. I hope I explained that okay. It was very confusing for me to go through and for Gus to learn, but you have to go through that in order to get your actual license plates. Okay, and the final step is to go get your license plates. So for Washington, it was just kind of confusing because you're going to 3 separate places, right? You're going to the DMV, you're going to the emissions test place, and then you're gonna go to the licensing place, which why all 3 of those things can't be in one area, I truly don't understand. It's stupid. But basically, after you pass your emissions test, you go to the licensing place. There's usually a really long line. I went to the licensing place in Kent, Washington, I believe, because that was the closest one to me. And I went on a Saturday morning and it was packed before it even opened. There was a huge long line, which is just not what you want to do on your Saturday morning off. So I went there, I waited in line, and a lot of people were getting turned away and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I not have? Let me just tell you what you need to have when you go there. So you need to have your license, you need to have your emissions test, and you need to have the title of your vehicle, okay? You need to have all 3 of those things. If you don't have all 3 of those things, you're gonna wait in line, you're gonna get there, and then they're gonna turn you away. So make sure that you have all 3 of those things. I don't think it was too much. It depends on your car too, because you're paying for the license plate and you're paying for the tabs. Mine was under $100 for sure. I remember that, but I don't remember how much exactly it was. So make sure you have all 3 of those things, wait in line, and then you will get your plates actually day of. They'll give you your plates with the tabs on it and everything. The licensing place is an awful place to go, but you have to do it in order to get your plates and to be like registered in Washington. Let's just sum it up really quick. Step number 1 was to go get your license and make sure that you have cash or a check, and that you also bring a piece of mail with you to prove that you are an actual resident of Washington. So step number 2 is going to be to go get your emissions test. This is going to be at a separate location than the DMV. And in order to do that, make sure that you have $15 and that your check light isn't on, because if your check light's on, they're gonna send you away and you're gonna have to go get it checked out. So step number 3 is gonna be to go get your plates. So in order to do that, make sure that you have your license and your emissions test and the title of your vehicle and your solid, your gold. Bring cash. I don't remember if there was a fee, but bring cash just in case, because they like to, you know, charge you anything extra. So those are kind of the 3 steps, you know, in a nutshell. Okay guys, that kind of concludes this video. I hope that it was kind of easy to follow along. I know I'm not the best at explaining things, but the DMV is a terrible place and I wanted to just make it as easy for you as possible. If you have any questions or any comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you. I get back to almost all of you, so if you're confused, I totally get it. I'm sure I didn't explain it that well. Leave a comment or a question and I will get back to you. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helped you and subscribe if you aren't already. Anyways guys, I hope that you have a beautiful day and I will see you in my next video. Bye!